Before watching the video, please press the subscribe button and walk in the light of God.
The Minoan civilization, cradled by the turquoise waters of the Aegean Sea on the island of Crete, thrived from approximately 3000 BCE to 1450 BCE as one of antiquity's most dazzling marvels. Their sprawling palaces, like the labyrinthine Knossos, shimmered with frescoes of leaping bulls and swirling octopuses, testaments to a culture both artistic and audacious. Their ships, cutting through the Mediterranean, wove a web of trade that linked Egypt, the Levant, and the Greek mainland, amassing wealth and influence unrivaled in their time. Yet, around 1450 BCE, this radiant society vanished, an abrupt, haunting silence that echoes through history. The accepted explanation points to the cataclysmic eruption of the Thera volcano, modern-day Santorini, a natural disaster so immense it unleashed tsunamis, ash falls, and a domino effect of ruin. But what if this tale of elemental fury is a mask, concealing a far darker truth? Beneath the polished surface of this narrative swirl shadowy conspiracy theories, each more unsettling than the last. These whispers suggest the Minoan collapse was not a mere act of nature but a drama scripted by human hands. Invaders lurking in the wings, traitors within the palace walls, or a grand deception to bury an unspeakable secret. Some dare to link the Minoans to the fabled Atlantis, proposing their end was mythologized to obscure a reality too strange to face. This article plunges into these abysses of speculation, weaving a tapestry of historical clues, logical leaps, and eerie possibilities. With every step, the ground beneath the official story trembles, inviting you to peer into the void and question, what really destroyed the Minoans? The official story, nature's wrath or a convenient lie. To unravel the conspiracies, we must first confront the mainstream account, a tale of nature's unrelenting power. Around 1600 BCE, the Thera volcano erupted with a ferocity that dwarfs modern imagination, estimated at 4 times the force of Krakatoa's 1883 blast. This explosion hurled millions of tons of ash and pumice into the sky, darkening the Mediterranean for days. Archaeological digs on Crete unearthed layers of volcanic debris, while Santorini's caldera, scarred and hollowed, bears witness to the sheer volume of earth displaced. The eruption likely birthed tsunamis, with waves towering up to 40 meters crashing into Minoan shores, splintering ports and drowning coastal villages. Ash clouds choked the sun, triggering a volcanic winter that withered crops and starved livestock, while the Minoans' sea-based economy, dependent on trade, collapsed under the weight of ruined fleets. The evidence aligns like stars in a constellation. Excavations reveal pumice in Minoan soil, dated to roughly the 16th century BCE, alongside abandoned settlements and a sharp drop in artifacts post-1450 BCE. Scholars, as cited by the BBC and National Geographic, paint a vivid picture, a civilization tethered to the sea, undone by a single apocalyptic blow. The Thera eruption, they argue, was a death knell, a force so overwhelming that recovery was impossible. Yet, this narrative's very clarity breeds suspicion. Can one event, however catastrophic, erase a people so thoroughly? Why do some sites show signs of life after the eruption, only to fade later? And what of the newcomers who appear on Crete's stage just as the curtain falls? The official story feels too polished, a script too neatly rehearsed. The ash layers, while real, vary in depth. Some suggest a dusting, not a burial. Tsunami damage is inferred from sediment, not proven by bones or shattered walls. Most troubling, the eruption's date, circa 1600 BCE, precedes the Minoan collapse, circa 1450 BCE, by over a century, a gap scholars bridge with vague talk of lingering effects. This dissonance opens a crack, and through it seeps the first whispers of conspiracy. What if the volcano was not the executioner, but a distraction? Conspiracy 1. The Mycenaean Invasion. A dagger. Cloaked in ash, among the most enduring alternative theories stands the Mycenaeans, warriors of mainland Greece, clad in bronze, their citadels bristling with menace. After 1450 BCE, they emerge on Crete, their presence etched in the shift from Minoan Linear A to Mycenaean Linear B at Knossos. Mainstream historians cast them as opportunists, stepping into a void left by Thera's wrath. But what if their arrival was no accident? What if the Mycenaeans, envious of Minoan riches, orchestrated a conquest so cunning it was masked as nature's doing? Picture the scene. Thera erupts, its roar echoing across the Aegean. Crete trembles, palaces crack, harbors flood, and the Minoans, masters of the waves, stagger. The Mycenaeans, watching from their rugged shores, see not tragedy but opportunity. For years, they've chafed under Minoan dominance, their own trade routes dwarfed by Crete's bustling ports. Now, with the island weakened, they strike. Ships laden with warriors slip through the chaos, landing on shattered beaches. They torch what the waves spared, seizing Knossos and its treasures. To the world, the ash and ruin tell a story of volcanic doom, but behind this veil, swords glint and blood soaks the earth. The timing fuels this theory. The Mycenaean takeover aligns eerily with the Minoan decline, suggesting intent over chance. Linear B's adoption at Knossos implies not mere influence but control. Why would a reeling people embrace a foreign script unless imposed? Some speculate the Mycenaeans had spies embedded in Minoan courts, whispering secrets back to Mycenae. The eruption, far from a random disaster, becomes their signal, a flare in the night sky to launch an invasion planned in shadowed halls. Perhaps they even exaggerated Thera's impact, spreading tales of devastation to deter rivals while they consolidated power. Yet the evidence teeters on a knife's edge. Burn layers exist, but not universally. Knossos shows damage, yet no mass graves scream of battle. Could the Mycenaeans have been subtler, poisoning wells, or bribing Minoan elites to open the gates? The Minoans' lack of fortifications, a hallmark of their confidence, might have been their undoing, leaving them blind to an enemy already within. Online theorists murmur of a silent conquest, a takeover so stealthy it left no scars, only silence. What if the Mycenaeans rewrote history, their scribes penning a tale of nature's fury to wash their hands clean? This theory's allure lies in its human drama, a jealous rival toppling a titan, then cloaking the crime in ash. It paints the Minoans not as victims of fate, but of betrayal, their golden age snuffed out by ambition. Dig deeper, and the Mycenaean shadow grows longer. Did they erase Minoan voices to ensure their own echoed louder? Conspiracy 2. Internal betrayal, the serpent in the labyrinth. If foreign blades seem too blunt an answer, another theory coils inward. What if the Minoans were their own destroyers? Their society, dazzling from afar, hid complexities beneath its frescoed walls. Priests wielded spiritual power, merchants hoarded trade wealth, and farmers toiled under the sun, factions bound by prosperity but fragile when strained. The Thera eruption, rather than forging unity, might have shattered this delicate balance, unleashing a serpent from within. Envision the aftermath. Ash blankets the fields, harvests wither, and hunger gnaws at Crete's heart. Coastal towns, battered by tsunamis, cry for aid, but inland elites cling to dwindling stores. The palaces, Knossos, Phaistos, Zakros, stand as beacons of order, yet their grandeur now mocks a starving populace. Resentment festers. Perhaps a merchant cabal, fearing ruin as trade halts, plots to seize power from the priest kings, whose rituals failed to appease the gods. Or maybe farmers, pushed beyond endurance, rise in revolt, their sickles turned to weapons. Knossos bears scars, crumbled walls, abandoned chambers, that could whisper of civil strife, not just seismic shocks. This theory draws strength from human nature. History brims with empires undone by internal rot, Rome's senators scumming, Byzantium's factions clashing, the Minoans with no defensive walls trusted in peace, naivety that might have invited treachery. Economic decline, evident in shrinking pottery exports post-Thera, could have sparked desperation. Some conjure a darker twist, a cult tied to the bull-leaping rites, believing the eruption signaled divine wrath. Stages a purge to cleanse society. Blood flows in sacred courtyards, but the chaos spirals, leaving only ghosts. The silence of Minoan records, Linear A, undeciphered, feeds this speculation. Did survivors burn their tablets, erasing a shameful fratricide? Or did the victors, if any, craft the volcano tale to absolve their kin? Knossos' labyrinth, a marvel to us, might have been a literal maze of betrayal. Kings hunted by their own, corridors echoing with screams. The theory paints a tragedy of hubris and division, where the enemy wore familiar faces, and the ash merely hid the stains. Conspiracy 3. The historical cover-up, a truth smothered in ash. Perhaps the most insidious theory posits that the Thera narrative itself is a lie, or at least a distortion, woven to bury a grimmer reality. What if the eruption, though real, was a minor tremor, its legend inflated to eclipse the true culprits? Human hands, be they invaders, rebels, or something stranger. This conspiracy suggests a grand cover-up, stretching from ancient scribes to modern scholars, all complicit in a tale too tidy to trust. Scrutinize the evidence. Ash layers dot Crete, but their depth wanes. Some sites show mere traces, not a civilization-ending shroud. Tsunami signs, scattered shells, shifted sands, hint at waves, but not annihilation. The eruption's date, circa 1600 BCE, clashes with the collapse, circa 1450 BCE, a gap of decades that scholars wave away with talk of slow decline. What filled that void? Could it hide a period of war, upheaval, or sabotage smothered by the volcano's myth? Some theorists argue that Mycenaean chroniclers, or later Greeks like Homer's forebears, spun a tale of nature's wrath to simplify a messy downfall, erasing inconvenient truths. This cover-up might have served many masters. For invaders, it cloaks conquest in fate, casting them as heirs, not usurpers. For Minoan remnants, it salvages pride, a noble end by gods, not men. For posterity, it births a parable of divine retribution, sidestepping the mundane brutality of politics or greed. The volcano becomes a smokescreen, its ash veiling not just the sky but history itself. Online sleuths point to anomalies. Mycenaean artifacts appear too swiftly post-Thera, some Minoan sites linger before fading. Is archaeology too complicit, favoring a clean narrative over jagged edges? The theory's power lies in its audacity, It challenges us to distrust the storytellers, to see the eruption as a prop in a larger play. What secrets did the Minoans carry to their graves, and who ensured they stayed buried? The past feels less solid, more like a shadow flickering on a cave wall, inviting us to question every line we've been fed. Conspiracy 4: The Atlantis Enigma, a lost truth submerged. No Minoan mystery dazzles like the Atlantis connection, a theory so fantastical it teeters on myth, yet so persistent it demands scrutiny. Plato's Timaeus and Critias, 360 BCE, describe Atlantis, a naval empire, rich and advanced, swallowed by the sea after defying the gods. The parallels with the Minoans leap out, sea lords of Crete, their culture radiant, their end tied to water and ruin. Scholars like those on PBS's Sinking Atlantis suggest Thera's eruption inspired Plato, with Crete as the kernel of truth beneath the fable. But conspiracy theorists dive deeper. What if the Minoans were Atlantis, and their collapse was no natural fluke? Imagine a civilization beyond our grasp, perhaps wielding lost arts, from shipbuilding marvels to arcane knowledge etched in linear A. Their power stirs envy across the Mediterranean. Then disaster. Thera erupts, a signal exploited by foes, Egyptians, Mycenaeans, or a forgotten rival. They strike, sinking Minoan fleets, toppling palaces and leaving Crete to rot. To hide this genocide, the tale morphs. A volcano, a flood, a sunken city. Atlantis is born, a myth to entomb the truth. Or darker still, what if the Minoans, in hubris, tampered with forces beyond them, a ritual, a weapon, unleashing their own doom, then cloaked as nature's act? The evidence tantalizes. Minoan frescoes, dolphins, ships, alien landscapes, hint at a world broader than Crete. Their script, locked in silence, teases at untold secrets. Some claim submerged ruins off Crete or Santorini are Atlantis's bones, though science demurs. The theory thrives on absence. What we don't know fuels the dream of a truth too vast, too dangerous to survive unmasked. Weaving the threads, a shadowed tapestry. What destroyed the Minoans? The volcanic theory stands firm, rooted in ash and science. Yet the conspiracies, invasion, betrayal, cover-up, Atlantis, claw at its certainty, each thread twisting the tale anew. Let's stitch a speculative mosaic, the spark. Thera erupts, not a killer, but a wound. Crete falters, its pulse weakening. The shadows. Mycenaeans creep in, sowing discord or striking outright. Factions within splinter, knives flashing in palace halls. The fall. War and chaos reign, not ash alone. Palaces burn by human will, not fate. The veil. Survivors and victors conspire. The volcano swells in legend, burying the blood-soaked truth. This vision lacks proof's solidity, but its logic seduces. It marries the Mycenaean rise, the uneven ruin, and the Minoans' mute legacy. It casts their end as a human tragedy, ambition, treachery, and silence woven into ash. The eternal riddle: why we seek the shadows. These conspiracies grip us because they defy the mundane. The Minoans left no diaries, no epitaphs, just ruins and riddles. Their story is a canvas for our imagination, reflecting our dread of betrayal, our awe at lost wonders. Were they felled by nature's fist, a rival's blade, or their own flaws? Or does a stranger truth lurk, sealed beneath Crete's soil? Every shard of pottery, every faded fresco might whisper a clue. The past beckons, elusive and coy, daring us to chase its ghosts. The Minoan collapse remains a mystery draped in ash and enigma. A challenge to peel back the layers, to seek not just what happened, but what was hidden.